My name is Itamar Ben-Chemo. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Rivery, the SaaS data ops platform. I would like to introduce our special guest from Databricks. Welcome, Adam Conway, SVP Product at Databricks. How are you today, Adam?
I'm doing very well, Itamar. It's great to be here.
Great. So let's get started. So Adam, we hear from our customers almost on a daily basis about the need to get insight fast. Speed to insight became an immediate need for almost every data-driven company, whether if it's adding a new data source in a few minutes or just getting the analysts and the engineers to collaborate on their data pipelines mission. So Adam, my first question for you is, what does data agility mean to Databricks?
Yeah, so maybe first it's worth talking about what data agility is not. And I think a lot of it is the status quo today, where you end up having, some of your data, data stored in different locations. You have seams between that data. Different users use different tools. So, data analysts are often using, BI tools connected to data warehouses, whereas data scientists and ML engineers are often using data lakes. And then getting the governance to work across that, especially at the seams, is very, very complicated. And those seams also create other problems, data management problems. It creates data quality problems, all of those sorts of things. We see that, to really get data agility, you need to start with how do you collaborate? How do you make sure you can collaborate on a single set of data so you can make that work? And then have a set of tools that provide all the needs for all of the types of users that you have. So that's really when we think about data agility. We think about that. We actually think of this from an architectural perspective as something we call a lake house, which brings a lot of these pieces together. But Itamar, I'd love to hear from you about what do you think data agility is?
Yeah, actually, more of the same. I think that you'll agree with me that data now located in the heart of every organization. It's no more a mission just for IT or just for business. It's actually for both of them together. In the past few years, I saw the trends of shadow IT projects. It's happened when business users need the data insight faster than the IT can deliver. What usually happens as a result of it is that the business are trying to build the infrastructure outside the view of the engineering team. And this actually create what I called unauthorized data projects, because these quick wins actually makes the mission to centralize data platform that you described to be really hard to achieve. The way that I see it from my experience is that the companies that are actually moving fast are the ones that are able to find the right balance between the IT and the business. We actually call it in Rivery, we call it the control and freedom. We want to provide the platform with the full control in the eyes of the engineering team. Let's say ability to scale, command line interface, CI/CD, data governance, security. But we want to do it without losing the freedom for the business. In Rivery, freedom meant no code, self-service, and predefined pipelines. We believe that the results of it is that both team, business and IT, actually unlock data agility together.
Yeah, we certainly agree with that.
Yeah. Cool. So my next question, Adam, for you is also about speed and scale. From the outside, Databricks grown so fast and so big in the past few years. I know that many of the folks that watching us now are huge fans of Databricks. And what I wanted to ask you is what have been the key engines for growth at Databricks as a company in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing about it makes Databricks and really any company successful is customer obsession. You have to focus on like what your customers are doing, and to that means for us, data practitioners, data scientists, data analysts, data engineers, and then the administrators that really manage those. So often central IT or some other organization that's administering those. You really have to be kind of obsessed with what they're doing and make sure you understand what their needs are and are meeting those needs every day. I think one of the things that, SaaS and cloud sort of drives this. The old days where, you'd run a POC and then you buy millions of dollars worth of software. And then if the customer doesn't uses it or not, doesn't matter. You've made the money. Those days are kind of gone with SaaS. The beauty of SaaS is that every day you have to earn the usage on your platform, and that means that you're just constantly looking at what can I do to make that experience better. How can I give those users better tools? How can I increase the value on a daily basis? So SaaS is really SaaS really drives that, because you only get paid if people use your platform. So it creates a virtuous circle between the customer and those end users and the vendor, where the more value, the more satisfied the customer is, the more they'll use it, et cetera. So I think that's really the core to the success of any SaaS platform. And I think Databricks has been that type of company. We've been obsessed with those users, making sure we know exactly what those data scientists need. Make sure that we're putting the data in a place where everybody can access it and use it, where it's governed properly, and then enabling those downstream users to get access and use the data. So that's how we view. That's the secret to Databricks success, I should say.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I always telling to the employees at Rivery that you cannot do both. There is you can sell a software or you can sell SaaS experience. SaaS is basically the experience at SaaS is everything. The way that you are running the support, the way that you are running the sales, the way that you are running the success, the way that you are listening to the customer's needs in order to provide the roadmap of your product. So totally agree. And I think SaaS for me, it's represent the customer's obsessed philosophy. Good. So as an SVP product at Databricks, I would like to go a bit more in the product strategy. Where do you plan taking Databricks as a platform?
Yeah. So the future, I think of Databricks, and actually I think of all data systems, is this concept we call lakehouse. And the reason for this is it really does, as I mentioned earlier, is bring these different users together. I'll say it's not one of these things where we set out many, many years ago to go build a lakehouse. It was one of these things where actually our customers brought us there. We built a platform primarily for data scientists and data engineers. The goal was really to enable ML at large scale, as well as kind of bringing ML to data and making it easy to do the data component of ML as well as ML itself. But what we started seeing several years ago was data analysts started accessing the data lake. We built this thing called Delta, which gave us transactions. It made it feel a little bit more like a data warehouse. But we didn't expect these analysts just to be connecting with their BI tools. Some of them were even logging in using our notebooks with SQL. We started seeing a lot of this and realized that I guess we just interviewed those customers and said, hey, what are you doing? Why are you trying to use the data lake for this? You've got a data warehouse. We're loading stuff from the data lake to the data warehouse. Why aren't you using the data warehouse? And they said two things. One is only a subset of the data was loaded into the data warehouse. So often, they'd have a user would have petabytes of data maybe, and they'd load, a few terabytes into a data warehouse. And that was one thing. The second thing is the most recent data was almost always in the data lake. So the data was landing first in the data lake and then moving into the data warehouse. So those two things are the main drivers. And then we just kind of asked the next follow-on question is, if we provided the speed, the governance, and access to the tools that you want to use, would you just use the data lake? And they said, of course, that's all we need to use the data lake. And we just endeavored to go build those. And I think everybody has gotten this feedback, is that you really want to make sure that these users are together. It's not just a Databricks thing. I think overall the industry is taking a look at the lakehouse and saying this is the next paradigm. for data management. It's the next paradigm for uniting these users and enabling them to collaborate in a single place.
Thank you for sharing that one. Okay, so let's speak a bit about the industry. We have been very honored to work closely with your team at Databricks as a technology partners in the past few months. We see Databricks is investing a lot of resources, a lot of money in the partners ecosystem. And maybe this is the opportunity to thank you for that one and to share that we are so excited to be part of it.
Yes.
But my question as a whole is, what is the vision of your partnerships ecosystem?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that there's really lots of types of users that are going to start using this concept of a lakehouse. They're going to start accessing data out of the lakehouse. Customers want to do lots of different things, and we are a data platform company, and we can't do everything for everybody. And there's always going to be the need for simpler tools for certain users or specific tools for specific use cases. And we believe that an ecosystem fills in those gaps in our product and makes our product better, and vice versa. Our ecosystem partners feel the same way, as they've got a certain solution and we fill in gaps for them as well. And that's really how we view the need for this. And it really comes back to this idea of collaboration. I talked about earlier, collaboration is so core to how data platforms need to be built in the future, where the different data practitioners can work together in a single place. And Rivery in particular is great for this, because Rivery offers a set of tools that we don't offer. It offers a set of simple tools to ingest and transform your data, specifically designed for analysts and those types of users that we don't typically address at all. So this is a very I should say we don't address with native tools. We provide the data platform for them, but not the user interface. So that's really sort of this opportunity, and we've kind of taken it another step with Rivery. We're actually going to soon announce a very simple way to start in Databricks and with pre-integrated Rivery solutions. You're able to sort of get Rivery up and running very, very simply from the Databricks platform. So stay tuned. We'll be talking about that more. And that's really kind of the key to, that's just a great example and a proof point of this kind of ecosystem approach that we're taking.
Cool. We are so excited about that at Rivery. Great. So we have like few more minutes. So let's wrap up with the last questions. So if we are looking in the regular BI or legacy BI, static BI report, Databricks brought the science into it, but I would like to hear how you see that the future looks like in the aspect of operating around data.
Yeah, and I think there's several things, and this, our discussion is really kind of centered around how do you do things end to end and how do you collaborate. And I think that what we're going to see is just an extension of that. Imagine situations where you're bringing in data from your various operational data stores. Maybe it's maybe systems of record like Salesforce and databases and that sort of thing. But maybe you're also landing unstructured data like logs or images, or I should say unstructured and semi-structured data. And now you want to transform all of that and do a set of things with it. You want to build gold tables, which is great. Gold tables are awesome at looking at the past, and you can use BI tools and a variety of things to look at the past. But I think more and more enterprises want to look towards the future, and they want to provide insights, and they want to take that data and augment it with things like predictions, with clustering, with a variety of techniques that will help you look into the future. Now, you have to take those insights and not just keep them in the data science departments. You've got to make those insights available to all of your employees in the tools that they use. So kind of exciting developments in that area are, this kind of blossoming ML and how people are using it more and more across the enterprises. But then also, how do you take that data and then put it into the tools that you're interested in using? Something like reverse ETL, which we partner with you for, is very powerful in that sense. Sort of building those data apps is sort of the next, kind of the next set of capabilities that we see evolving out there, and bringing those insights not just of the past but also of the future to those environments.
Cool. I'm not comfortable to say that I agree with everything, but this is it. I think that we are sharing similar philosophy. I do agree about what you mentioned about the reverse ETL. We see it more common. Actually, we have a session that Taylor from our team will run today specifically about the reverse ETL. We see a big demand for this one from our customers, and this is why we started to develop more and more this capability in the product. So great, Adam. Thank you so much for joining me on stage today. I want to encourage everyone to that interested about data agility to go to the booth, go to Rivery booth, but other partners as well. We will run their demos, live demos all day. I also want to give a shout to the next presenter, a good friend of mine, Tomer, GM for B2C at Tomorrow.io, who will give in-depth show how to build an agile data stack that is actually the backbone for one of the most amazing big data companies in the world. Thank you so much, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the session. Stay tuned. Bye. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Itamar.